This video is made possible by Practical Defense Systems, the best online security training at the lowest prices. You can start your security career today online at pdsclasses.com. Check them out. Hi, this is Joel Persinger. I'm the Gun Guy. Thanks for all of your support of GunGuyTV. I'm very grateful for everything you do. Okay, it is the day after the election, and everybody's crying into their coffee or soup or cereal or whatever. Okay, I get it. I want to give you some encouragement at the beginning, some maybe short-term, long-term goals, and then a reality check. So I hope you don't mind the reality check at the end, but stick with me, okay? So real quick, some encouragement at the beginning. All right. It's not over till it's over. It's going to take a week or so for the election to be decided. And the reason for that was obvious from the beginning. Anytime the left starts accusing someone on the right of doing something wrong, it's telling you one of two things. Either the left is already doing that and they're deflecting, or they have plans to do that wrong thing and they're deflecting. So when they were saying to the president over and over again, well, you know, are you going to accept the results of the election? Are you going to accept an orderly transfer of power? It was fairly obvious that Biden and the left had no intention of accepting whatever the election results were and going away or conceding, and they had no intention of having anything be orderly or normal. And so that's what you're seeing now. That was obvious to the most casual of observers. This is not surprising, what's happening right now. I've already told many friends that this was going to go on for a while, probably a couple weeks. It's going to involve legal battles and recounts and all kind of accusations back and forth and Twitter battles like crazy and social media fights all over the place and some civil unrest probably along the way. So this is not new. It's not surprising. It was completely predictable, and the president's not a stupid man. I'm sure that he and his staff and his not only his administration but his campaign were fully aware of it, and they have some things in mind to fight it. So they were already lawyered up all over the place anyway. So at this point, it's in the hands of the campaigns and their attorneys, and they're going to go back and forth. So I want to encourage you with that, the fact that the president's not a quitter. If he was, we wouldn't have 400 miles of wall on the southern border close to where I live and running all the way out to Yuma or wherever, or even farther for that matter, because he's not a quitter. So hang in there. If you voted for Trump, there's a very good chance that Trump will win. Now, there's also a chance that Biden will win. Okay. But you know what? You can't control what you can't control. You know, the three-step programs, I think, have a prayer called the Sinner's Prayer. It says, Lord, give me the serenity to accept the things I can't control, change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I think that's where we need to be right now. We have to understand there are certain things that are beyond our control. If you voted, you did what you can do. If you're a person of faith like me and you prayed for God's will to be done, which I did, and I don't know what his will is, I just know it's good and perfect. My little 3-pound brain is not big enough to contain his will, and he doesn't bother. By the way, he doesn't consult me. He doesn't check with me and say, by the way, is it okay if I do this? So I've prayed, and now I get to trust in the Lord with all my heart and lean not on my own understanding, and then in all my ways submit to him, and he will make my paths straight. I don't get to make them straight. He gets to make them straight. So if I've done those things, then I've done what I can do. Okay. Now what I got to do is just wait for it to work out and hope it works out the way I would like it to work out. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, it does. Okay, so here's some short term. Now that's the encouragement is breathe, take a good breath, and stop looking at the news and stop watching the Twitter fights or whatever, and go back and live your life. It's not going to be resolved today. It's probably not going to be resolved this week. But it will get resolved, and we'll figure out who won. Now, if President Trump wins, hallelujah, guess what? It looks like the Senate, by all reports that I can see, apparently the Senate is going to stay under the control of the GOP, which means Mitch McConnell is still there. He won re-election. Lindsey Graham, although I disagree with him a lot, is still on the Judicial Committee and the chairman of that committee, Judiciary Committee, and they're going to be in control. And it looks like, by all reports, that the GOP has made significant gains in the House. Now, they're not going to take the House, it doesn't look like, but those gains are going to make it harder for Pelosi and company to do anything that they want to do. This is part of the checks and balances in our system. The president has certain powers, but he only has certain powers. Since the Senate is staying in the hands of the Republicans, at least for the next couple of years until there's an election again, the midterm election. It's really going to be hard for Biden-Harris if they end up in the White House, God forbid. But if they do, it's going to be very hard for them to destroy our country. It'll be impossible, really, for them to pack the court or any of the things they've threatened to do. All right, now we just have to pay attention to the midterm election and not sit on our laurels or fall asleep. We have to get back in the battle and stay in the battle again. Likewise, Trump has, during his tenure so far, at least 300, I think. He's appointed at least 300 or more than 300 very conservative type judges to the federal bench. And in addition, we just confirmed and had seated on the bench Amy Coney Barrett. So there you have the other part of the government. That's the reason why our founders put the government up together the way they did, so that no one president could come in and destroy the country. So even if Trump loses, which I think is likely, I think it's possible, but I don't think it's likely. I think Trump will end up the winner, I hope. But even if he doesn't, there are enough checks and balances in the government that we can really make it difficult for Biden-Harris to do a whole lot of damage. They can do some, and it's not going to be pretty, and it's not going to be fun, and we're back to Obama again, basically. But they can't destroy the country. We'll be able to save our country a different way. So hang in there. All right, short-term and long-term goals. Short-term, like I said, breathe, live your life, check on it once in a while, don't get too involved in it, it'll drive you crazy, and wait to see who wins. Long-term, here's a long-term thing. If you're already in the battle, stay in the battle, because the battle is going to continue for your rights whether Trump wins or not. We still have to stay in the battle. So if you're in the battle, stay in the battle. In fact, get a little bit more involved than you already are. That's the long-term goal, right? We have a lot of battling to do in my home state of California and across the country. So don't say, even if Trump wins, go, okay, we're safe. No, we're not. Trump's not going to be president forever, even if he wins. He's only going to be president another 4 years. Then there's going to be another whack job running for president, and they might be president and undo a lot of stuff that Trump did. So we have to continue the battle. Stay in the battle. If you're not in the battle, get in the battle. Okay? A lot of folks sit around and whine and complain, but they don't ever get in the battle. They don't vote. They don't contribute. They don't do any of those things. I encourage you to get in the battle. Okay? Now, here's the part this is the tough part here, and I'm hoping you'll stay through it now, okay? Folks like me go out of their way to try to provide you with alternatives. You'll notice all these alternatives over here, places where you can watch my videos. Now, some of them are big tech organizations like Facebook, Vimeo, and of course YouTube if you're watching on YouTube, and they censor things. And we complain that they censor things. So I put videos on BitChute, the Utah Gun Exchange, GunStreamer. And whenever a new one comes along, I try to put videos over there. And I encourage you to go subscribe there so you'll be able to watch my videos there. And you know how many people do it? Very, very, very few. They watch on YouTube, and then they complain about Google. And the reason why they watch on YouTube is because it's convenient for them. I get it. But we can't run our lives and win our country back being convenient. So I encourage you right now, at the end of this video when you're done, go in the description and go and please subscribe to one of these alternative venues for the videos that I produce so that you can get the news even if big tech doesn't want you to. It's very frustrating on my end, I got to tell you. All right, likewise, I tried Parler because everybody said, go to Parler because they don't censor you, and so I did. Do you know how many people actually left Twitter and Facebook and went over to Parler to follow me? 0. I finally just deleted all the content. I still have the account, but I deleted the content because nobody bothered to follow me. I'm hoping that this election process and COVID and everything has woken everybody up and shown them the peeled off mask of our elite leaders so that they understand who and what those people are, whether it's big tech or politicians or Fox News. They're not friends of the United States. They're not friends of this country, and they're not friends of the American people. And we got to stop supporting them. We need to do other things. So I'll put the stuff back up on Parler again. I urge you to go over there and follow me on Parler. If we have enough people following on Parler, I'll stop posting things on Twitter and Facebook. The only way we're going to hurt those companies is to stop using them and use alternatives. But like I said, I make this appeal on a regular basis. People don't want to do it. Why am I on Patreon? I'm on Patreon, even though Patreon is anti-gun, because it's the only way I can get subscription content to people who are willing to support me. Because I don't have the money to set that up on my website. I don't have that kind of money. Or the technical know-how, so I'm using Patreon. People said, well, use this company, use that company. Patreon sucks, but this company will support your Second Amendment. So I did. I signed up on both of those companies. I don't even remember their names. I went to the trouble to copy all of the content and make it available for people. And you know how many people signed up on either one of those? 0, even though I talked about it a lot. It was a colossal waste of my time and effort. I don't have time and effort to waste. Okay? So we put these things together so that people can move to alternatives, so that we're not dependent upon big tech, which hates our guts and censors us all the time. But people don't want to move. So I urge you, get off of big tech and move to some alternatives. Here they are again for the videos. Okay? Now, I don't have a lot of followers on Twitter or Facebook. I think I got 5 or 6 or 7,000 or something on Facebook and maybe 1,500 on Twitter. I'd love to have more, but I'd like to move them to an alternative platform. So let's start using alternative platforms. And if my followers will actually move to those, then I'll drop Twitter, I'll drop Facebook. Maybe I'll leave it there in case I can stir up another follower, but the majority of the things that we do will be on these other places so that you can find them and they cannot be censored by big tech. I need your help here. Now, the other thing for you to understand is, if everybody leaves YouTube and goes to GunStreamer or BitChute or something, first of all, that would be phenomenal and I would love it. However, the minute I shut down YouTube, the revenue that comes from YouTube goes away. And I don't have any of that revenue coming in. Producing videos and running this channel costs me money. It makes less than I spend on it. If I have to then take away the money that the channel makes off of YouTube, that's really going to hurt me financially. Which means I'm probably going to have to take on sponsors and put ads up or whatever in order to fill the gap. And you're going to have to be, whether you like it or not, you're going to have to be understanding about that and go, well, you know, Joel's got to do what he's got to do. And if sponsors won't sponsor me on those alternative places because they're kind of hooked on YouTube, I may not be able to get sponsors. Which means I may be saying to you, please support me on Patreon. There's lots of great content there. There's, you know, I put up videos constantly that you can only see there. Put up content you can only see there. But that means you're going to have to step up to help the people who are providing you with the information that you enjoy. This is a joint effort. So there you are. That's the part I know you're not going to like. Okay? And hopefully you're still with me. One way or the other. Don't lose your mind over this, please. Hang in there. Get back into your faith if you've got it. Go find it if you don't. Or if it's just play your guitar like I do, or play with it, or you know, or do something that you enjoy, or go to the gym and work out, or however you handle your stress. Work on that and ignore the rest for a few days, and then go look at it again, and ignore it for a few days, look at it again. The election's going to be settled by then, and you don't have to live through all the nonsense in the meantime. Well, thank you very much for watching. Have a great week, and wherever you go, whatever you do, stay safe.